General election polls almost always have Bernie Sanders beating all three of the remaining Republican candidates for the presidency, and usually Hillary Clinton beating two, although not always Kasich. That includes the most recent Fox News polls, and over Fox News, Bill O'Reilly cannot believe it.
Running against Bernie Sanders, John Kasich, 43%, Sanders 47%, beats Kasich. Cruz, 9%. Sanders, 51%, beats Cruz by 12 points. And Trump, 39%, same as Cruz. Sanders, 53%, 14 points he beats her. Now, I can't imagine. Can you? Do you have any idea?
I don't. Last night, Bernie Sanders had that huge event here in Washington Square Park in New York. He says it was 27,000 people. Yeah, so in head-to-head matchups, one of the things that we always focus on is how would any of these Republicans do against Hillary Clinton, because we just assume she is going to be the nominee.
Well, let's give Clinton's numbers, but we'll get back to the Sanders thing, because this is what I can't. I just don't believe it. Do you believe these numbers that Sanders is beating the Republicans like that? It's a 1,021 registered voters.
It's pie in the sky.
Well, do you know why Bernie Sanders is beating all three of them? And he's beating Trump by 14 points.
It's because of medical marijuana. No, seriously.
This is across the board, 53-39, Sanders beats Trump. I don't believe it. And I have to say, with all due respect, the Fox News poll has been good. I don't believe this. I just don't.
I love that. I can't love that anymore.
Flabber is gasted. That's pie in the sky. And that's not what that expression means. That's not at all what that means.
So when they say, oh, his proposals are pie in the sky, okay, I get it. You're wrong, but I understand.
Yeah.
But polling is not pie in the sky. It's facts of the people that you happen to poll. Now, you could argue, hey, maybe the Fox News poll is an outlier, except it's not. There's been about a dozen polls. Every single one of them shows Bernie Sanders beating every Republican candidate, and by the way, by wider margins than Hillary Clinton does. In fact, Hillary Clinton in a lot of those polls loses to Kasich and sometimes loses to Cruz.
Well, why don't we demonstrate that point? You bring this up. These are the poll results that they were talking about in this next graphic. You're going to see not only how badly Sanders beats all three candidates. I mean, Kasich he only beats by 4, but that's still a nice little, as good as Obama would generally do. And you see there Kasich beating Clinton by 9 points. Man, if you're a Republican, you've got to nominate Kasich, but those fools will not do it. Now, very importantly, and if you take anything out of this video, if you take anything out of tonight, what I want you to take out of it is everybody who wants to believe that Hillary is more electable, they look at this and they will always say, it doesn't matter if it says that Bernie does better. It's so long until the actual election. These don't represent anything in the general election. That made sense in December, perhaps. It made sense in January. It makes sense no longer. And you don't have to trust me. You can trust the analysis of Vox, who talk to political scientists. By the time we get to mid-April of the election year, polls explain about half the variance in the eventual vote split. And mid-April polls have correctly called the winner in about 2/3 of the cases since 1952. This is not January anymore. These polls actually mean something. And the idea that Bernie Sanders hasn't been attacked, that he hasn't been regularly from the left and from the right called a loon with pie-in-the-sky ideas, and he's a socialist who wants to get in bed with Raul Castro. No, he's been attacked, and his popularity has only gone up as a result of it. This does explain something. This is evidence that he's more electable than Hillary Clinton.
Man, this is such an illustration of exactly, we've I think covered studies about how and why people believe and follow certain political ideas and leaders because of no matter what they say. People said, well, how is it that Trump says so many stupid things that clearly make no sense, but people continue to go, yeah, like that's my guy, he talks like me. But so when you listen to O'Reilly come out and say this and say, you know what, man, this is amazing to me. Usually Fox News polls are so accurate. I'm not gonna believe it. Not gonna believe it. Not gonna believe it. That's his final point. I've hit the wall. I'm just not gonna believe what I don't want to believe. We've tried everything. We said socialists about 5 million times. That hasn't worked yet. That's all they got. There's no content behind any of their dispute for what anyone else is doing. So once it continues to blow up in their face, they're like, I just don't believe it. So that's all I got.
So there's two main things that's happening here. The first is what Jayar is talking about. Well, Fox News can't believe their lying eyes. I mean, this is the most literal case of what those studies do. They'll ask liberals and conservatives things that don't agree with their ideology, and both liberals and conservatives in general will say, no, I don't believe it, right? but they'll be more subtle than this. This was over the top.
Yeah.
Here are the facts that I do not believe, right?
In line with so many polls over the past few months. This is not an outlier.
They can't even say that New York Times poll. Sorry, go ahead.
So the conservatives here on Fox News can't believe it because they're like, well, because they've internalized it. They really believe that the country's center-right. They've done that propaganda for so long that they're like, no, the country's with us, right? Everybody wants to go back to 1955. Everybody wants to make sure blacks aren't as powerful as white people and gays. Nobody likes gays. Nobody I know likes gays. No. Income inequality is fantastic. Every millionaire I know agrees with me, right? So they can't believe it. They're shocked out of their skull. The country's not center-right. It's actually center-left. And to them, they would call it radical left.
Yeah.
Well, sad day for you. That's where the United States of America is today. And it's not just a Fox News poll, it is dozens of polls saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Now, the second part of the story is they're not alone. It's not just Fox News. I was just at the media center for the last debate between Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton in Brooklyn. There was about 700 people in the media in that room. And so there was a couple of Sanders supporters that came and talked to me, but they were all universally either young or from really small outlets. Okay. All the giant media outlets think the same exact thing as Fox News. And they've also said it on air. In fact, CNN has quoted their own poll and then immediately had Anderson Cooper dismiss it like, but no one really believes that, right? Right? Like, oh, but that's not going to happen. Because they think the establishment is awesome. We're fantastic. How could anyone not think we're fantastic? You're telling me that the great majority of the American people think that Bernie Sanders, who we laugh at and have dismissed our whole lives, is actually the most popular politician in the country? It does not compute for them. They'll never believe it. And it goes to show how enormously biased they are. By the way, today, another poll out, Reuters nationally, Bernie Sanders 47, Hillary Clinton 42. He now has a 5-point lead over Hillary Clinton. Now, I don't know
I've
that...
never heard of Reuters.
Reuters! I don't believe it! Reuters, how long have they been around? A couple hundred years? Right? So, now, look, I don't know if that's in enough time for him to pick up enough delegates. But what is indisputable is that phenomenon that Bernie Sanders represents is enormously real. But just the rest of the media and the establishment doesn't want to believe it because it's very inconvenient for them.